Croatia get the second half underway, leading by 2-1. If you have just joined us, Croatia in the red and white checks. Colombia, who made a fine start to proceedings, scoring after just 2 minutes through John Arias. Only for it to be cancelled out by an equaliser from Luka Vuskovic. And then a goal just before half-time from Matanovic. His last real contribution, though, to proceedings, having been just replaced. But Musa is on, so up front now in place of him. And Josip Stanisic, you can see him there on the bottom of your picture, the number 2. He's on in place of Perisic. Gathered by the goalkeeper, Vargas. You do have to wonder whether the second half will be played at the same fast pace that the first half generally was played in.
Coming into the game, number 2, Josip Stanisic. Leading the game, number 14,
Diaz. Lovely little flick there. Mayika with the ball into the middle, poked towards goal by Suarez, or at least that's what he hoped. Munoz. Lerma. Just kept that ball in play. Rios. Vargas will gather. Croatia throw. Remember, both of these teams haven't lost for just over a year. Their last defeats for both of them were in March of last year. Suarez. Trying to find a way through and able to keep possession. Unable to find a teammate, though. Stanisic. He's with Bayern Munich in Germany. Worked in field by Pongrasic. Stanisic. Really useful player to have in your squad, Josip Stanisic. He can play in every defensive position and on the wing-back position as well. Pongrasic. Slightly dangerous here from Croatia, and Colombia will gather. It's got to be a foul, and it is. Diaz was just caught there. James Rodriguez. Nicely done, Diaz. Munoz, can he work this ball across? He can, pushed away by Livakovic. Colombia slicing their way through there.
Also a substitution for Croatia at halftime.
That's an offside, though.
Entering the game, number 26, Peter Musa.
Against Munoz.
Leading the game, number 20, Igor Matanovic.
Now Krasic. Stanisic will be 26 next week on the 2nd of April. Oh, Luis Diaz. He's being pulled back. That's going to be a caution. And that is such a shame because it was a superb piece of skill from Luis Diaz. Martin Ehrlich pulled him back, and Martin Ehrlich has been cautioned. Might well feel that he was made a bit of a fool there.
The referee has issued a yellow card to Croatia, number 25, Martin Ehrlich, in the 51st minute.
Arias. Munoz. Rios. Sanchez. Rios again. Rodriguez. Got 3 goals in World Cup qualifying, James Rodriguez. And the goals for Colombia were spread out amongst quite a few players. In fact, their top scorer got 4 goals. Luis Suarez now. Rios is down. Not quite sure what happened there. Oh, there was just a collision off the ball. Richard Rios, who played all of his career in Brazil before making the move to Benfica last year. Arias bundled over. Change coming in there from Morrow. Touch forward by Sucic. Couldn't be kept in on that far side by Mario Pasalic. Nice ball over the top. Diaz on the end of it. Faced by 2. Support arriving there from Johan Mojica. Mojica with the throw. Rodriguez. Munoz with the header down and cleared away to safety, but it's a good little period of play this from Colombia. I'm sure you've noticed, but it is terrific to see fans from both of these two teams mingling quite happily. Red and white check shirts sitting next to those clad in the yellow of Colombia. Colombia in their change colours tonight, though. Sanchez. And again. Brought down, that'll be a card. As Davinson Sanchez was sent tumbling by Nikola Vlasic. Two in the middle, hoping to get on the end of this cross. Nicely done. Just away, just by Stanisic. Plenty of pressure from Colombia as they look to get a second goal.
Yellow card to Croatia. Number 13.
Away by Vlasic.
Nikola Vlasic in the 55th minute.
Sanchez. Nakumi lays it wide. Oh, lovely little bit of skill from Maika. Maika's ball into the middle, headed behind, corner kick. Vuskovic putting that one behind. And listen to the roar from the Colombian supporters. The defenders are forward, hoping to get on the end of this corner kick. Couldn't be met by Lukumi. Maika. Nunes. Sanchez. Rios. Lerma. Chase on here for Mayuka. He's not going to get on the end of it, though. Colombia heading for their 6th World Cup finals. It looks like we might get changes from the South American side sooner rather than later. Stanisic. Grasic. Moro. Two changes then for Croatia. Martin Baturina, midfielder, about to come on. And Luka Sucic, also a midfielder, is also going to be making an entrance in a few moments' time. Free kick taken quickly. Gathered by Livakovic. I'd be surprised if Sucic here was one of those to go off, having been booked. Nikola Vlasic may well be withdrawn as well. He's also been shown yellow. Moro. Stanisic. Stanisic allowed to go unchecked. And then a trio converged on him to make the block. Sanchez. Arias. Rodriguez. Chase on here for Diaz. Bundled out of it by Pongrasic. German-born defender. End-to-end action at the moment. Here comes Marko Pasalic. Goes down under the challenge from Maika. No free kick. He expected a whistle. It was not forthcoming. Still Croatia wait to make the double change. Petar Sucic, nicely done. Musa bearing down on goal off the post. Well, he hit that with some ferocity. And he can't quite believe he hasn't made it 3-1. Petar Musa timing his run well. Plenty behind that shot.
Substitutions for Croatia.
Here's the changes then ahead of the corner.
Coming into the game, number 21, Luka Sucic. Leaving the game, number 13, Vlasic.
Luka Sucic
Also entering the game, number
coming on for Vlasic, and it is Petar Sucic as well.
Leaving the game, number 17, Peter Sucic.
So the two players, the two midfielders who had been shown yellow are withdrawn.
Corner kicks are brought to you by Universal Orlando Resort.
Taken quickly. Curling towards goal, just blocked on its way through. Croatia keeping the pressure up again. Sanchez gets it away. It was who'd made that initial block. A bit of a miscommunication at the back. Defender and goalkeeper are down. Play will be halted. Jefferson Lerma is the Colombian defender. You can see it's the way he landed, really rather awkwardly. Vargas is okay. Changes as well for Colombia. Ricardo Carrascal. James Rodriguez withdrawn to a standing ovation, the star man of Colombia. Also coming off, Johan Mojica. And Kevin Castano is the third player who is going to be coming on. So Mercado will presumably go into the defensive role, vacated by Mojica. There he is.
Entering the game, number 8, Jorge Carrascal. Leaving the game, number 10,
Carrascal, the midfielder.
James Rodriguez. Entering the game, number 5.
Comes into midfield.
Leaving the game, number 16, Jefferson Lerma.
Jefferson Lerma is also withdrawn in that triple change. Kevin Castano comes on in his place. Stanisic. He's in a little bit of trouble here, Stanisic, as he goes back towards his own goal line. And Colombia will pick up. Right across the face of goal from the newly arrived Carrascal. Ricardo. Castano. Oh, bit of an error at the back. Goalkeeper will just gather. Vargas. Livakovic. Nicely done. Baturina gets the free kick. Just caught there by Rios. Approaching the midway point then of the second half. Still Croatia 2, Colombia 1. We've had no further goals in this second half. All 3 goals coming in the first. And Musa, just a few minutes ago, crashing his shot against the frame of the goal. Pasalic. Musa! Oh! He can't believe it. He simply cannot believe that he hasn't scored. That's twice now. But he has hit the frame of the goal. Carrascal. Arias. Rios. There was a hand there, pulling back Arias. And there might have been a card there for Musa, but not on that occasion. Went wide by Lukumi. Castano. Rios. Turn is by Carrascal. He went for the return, isn't going to get it though. Pasalic. Stanisic. Livakovic with the clearance. Well, they had to dig that one out. Mario Pasalic. Long ball forward. Chase on here for Baturina. He's not going to get there. So we are halfway through the second half. Had to be a decent block there from Pasalic because there was space on this near side for Colombia. Turn is by Morrow. Livakovic. Castano. Crunching challenge coming in there. On Suarez. He probably still can't believe he missed that wonderful opportunity in the first half when he had an open goal but completely air hit his shot. Still plenty of life in this match. Pasalic. Musa. Run on here for Baturina. Baturina still going. Picked up though by Arias. Diaz asking the question. Arias asking the question as well. Should that have been a yellow card for Erlich, who has already been booked? Now, presumably, some words have been said. Another triple change. Andres Gomez, the striker. Santiago Arias and Puerta are coming on. Gustavo Puerta, the midfielder. Off comes Luis Suarez. John Cordoba comes on up front. Andres Gomez, another striker. John Arias is replaced, scorer of the first goal. And also comes Juan Fernando Quintero, the midfielder, vastly experienced. So Rios is off. Luis Diaz is off.
Entering the game is number 20, Juan Quintero. Leaving the game is number 11,
There's all the changes for you.
Entering the game is number 26,
Suarez off.
Carlos Gomez. Leaving the game
Arias is off.
7, Luis Diaz.
Header away by Erlich.
Is number 4, Santiago Arias. Leaving the game is number 2, Daniel Munoz. Entering the game is number 14, Gustavo Puerta. Leaving the game is number 6, Richard Rios. In the 71st minute.
Picked up here by Gomez. Trying to combine that with another substitute there, Santiago Arias. Davinson Sanchez. Chance here, Cordoba! His first contribution, and it could have been such an important one. What an introduction to the match that would have been. Can't find the target though. At the other end, there was that effort from Musa. Smacked against the bar. Twice he's hit the frame of the goal since coming on as a substitute at half-time. Away by Livakovic. Underneath it is Lukumi. Taken down by Gomez, couldn't though keep control of it. Referee will halt play. Quintero. Turned by Gomez. Arias.